Welcome everybody, it's Bulldog, and yes, I'm back with another Splinterlands video. It's been a long time since I've done a video like this, but I have been streaming over on Twitch. If you're not following me over there, make sure you go over there. We've got Enclave Arcana packs, we've got Arena Fanatics that we're giving away, doing a lot of giveaways this holiday season, so make sure you go follow me over there. But today we are going to talk about the new land cards that are coming out to Splinterlands here in a few hours, and it's going to be big. If you are into lands, you're gonna love this. We have cards that are specifically for land. If you aren't into land, you are also going to love this, because one of the most popular requests that I think I've seen in Splinterlands is that with some of these old cards, like some of the Chaos cards in particular, that we flat out produced way too many of them. Pretty obvious in hindsight, right? We've wanted ways to essentially burn those and combine them into new cards. That's been a popular request. We now have that because there is a new currency, basically. Cinder. Cinder is created by burning old cards. You get 1.5 Cinder for every CP of the card that you burn. We are going to need a lot of Cinder for these cards, so we're going to be burning a lot of Chaos reward cards, really. Those have been the cheapest cards. We're going to burn a lot of them. We're going to raise the floor value there. If you think there's too many cards out there, this is going to be great, even if you're not the one using the land, because a lot of people are going to use this. So these cards are going to be crafted. They come out today. For the first 3 days, you can only craft them if you've been allocated right. So basically there was a snapshot that was taken based on the total amount of PP you have on land. You get exclusive access to crafting these. After 3 days, it opens up so everybody can craft them. As long as there's some left, because there's limited quantities of these. So we'll see if they'll essentially sell out in the first 3 days, or how that's going to go. These cards are only usable on land. They're not used in conflicts. They're not used in battle. They're going to have some brand new abilities. So I'm going to go through these here real quick before we kind of dive into some of the impacts. Bountiful grain, wood, stone, iron, ore, whatever the resource is. It's going to give you a production bonus for that resource. It's going to be just like if you put a title, like if you get a title bonus on land. Well, same thing, but it only works if you are farming that resource. Toil and Kin provides a production bonus if you have one of your workers that matches the bloodline of the cards. So we're bringing the bloodline synergy into land. Dark Discount reduces the amount of DEC required to stake for the plot to be 100% efficient. So you can put this card on there, take off or not need to put it on in the first place, your DEC that you had staked there, and it frees up some DEC. Energize acts as a power core. This, I think, is kind of big, because one of the things about power core, a lot of people don't like buying the power cores because they're not tradable. So they're money that's essentially burned in the game. A lot of people don't like that, of course. You want, if you're picking up resources, you want to be able to resell them when you're done with it, right? Well, instead of getting a power core, you can now get one of these cards that have energized, and these cards are tradable. Rationing reduces the amount of grain consumed, so workers use grain. This way they'll use less grain. They can be more efficient on your plot. And then this is kind of an X factor that I don't know how to factor in when kind of calculating the value of these. Labor's Luck. So we are going to be able to mint regular foil cards, the gold foil arcane, black foil arcane. Those are all going to be discovered on land. If you have one of this Labor's Luck is on them when you max them out. So if you have a maxed out land card working on your plot, you will then have a chance to discover a black foil version of one of these cards. And it's going to work. The calculations are going to be different, but it's going to work kind of like how you have a chance of finding a totem. Whenever you claim your keep or something like that and have a chance of finding a totem, it's the same type of thing. And it's hard to really calculate value there because it's just a chance, and it's not something that you'll always get. You may never get. but these are going to be rare cards that you can find from land, and that's going to add a little bit of excitement to. It's like when you open up a loot chest, right? There's excitement that you have a chance to find a jackpot card, adding that feeling towards land. Talks about how the abilities stack. So like if you get an elf bonus, there's no benefit to putting 5 workers that are elves on land. You only get the bonus for 1. But if you have an elf bonus and an orc bonus, I think it's an orc. I think I made that up, but you could get both of those if you have one of each. Here it gives the example elf and mundane beast. There's a mundane beast, so that's a better example. Labor's luck, we kind of talked about that. Here's the amount that you can pull. Golden overcap rule. Land cards do not contribute PP beyond the 100k base PP cap. However, their abilities remain active even when the PP cap is reached. So if this will kind of be, this has been a big factor for me looking at some of my plots. I have plots that are fairly efficient, and I try to get to that 100k cap so that when I buy bonuses, I get the max bonuses. Here you can see the production power of these cards. The regular foil are fairly, if you're looking at maxing out your plot, fairly low. You only get 5 cards. If one of your slot is only using 3,000 production power, that's gonna be tough. You're gonna want gold foil, black foil if you're trying to cap those out. So it all depends on where you're at. All the calculations here, like I'd love to be able to just say, here's a simple formula. Are these worth it for you to go get these land cards? As we'll look at the cards here themselves in just a second. Everybody's going to be in a different scenario. How many spots you have available, the amount of power on those, the other bonuses available for you. Is it, in a lot of cases, right now, Roonies are about $300. You'll see the price of these cards here in a second. In a lot of cases, if you don't have a Rooney, I feel like go get a Rooney instead of a maxed out version of these cards. What do you already have on your land? And then the market's going to change as these resource values change, as people hear this and go buy their Rooney instead, and now the Roonies cost 500 instead of 300. It's going to be a constantly changing formula that everybody's going to have to look at individually to see what is right for them. Is it worth going and crafting these cards or buying these cards off the market? But there's one of each rarity. We've got the common card that's going to be designed to go on a grain farm. So bountiful grain, 60% grain bonus, use less grain. I feel like the common and the rare one down here are going to be popular for this energized. A cheap way to get energized, like I mentioned earlier, instead of buying a power core that you can't trade to somebody else when you're done with it, come and get a level 3 common. Come and get a level 2 rare. Get that energized ability, and then you don't need that power core, and you now have it cost a little bit more, or at least based on the starting prices, a little bit more, but its resale value is going to make it worth it to have something that's tradable there. And then again, you see Labor's Luck when they're maxed out. A rare card, this can go on wood. This is going to be interesting. Some of you who have paid attention early when this came out probably had some opportunities to make some money. Wood and elf. Now elves that are designed to go to pair with this on your terrains that can create wood. Maybe some of your older, there's not a lot of necessarily older elves that will be good on land. I bet those cards shot up in value. You can get a bonus 30%. Bountiful woods. You can get 100% boost to wood if you put this card and another elf. We talk about energized dark discount. Take off your DEC if you max that effectively 99%. Epic for life is going to be grain or stone, and it's a mundane beast. Similar things here. And then legendary is your aura. This aura or iron. Aura's that's the big farms that I have, is the aura farm. This would be the one that I might. By the way, that art looks. The undying miner. love it. They've done such a great job. I feel like the artwork just keeps getting better and better. Here's the estimated crafting cost. This is going to change as these resources are used up. Potentially spike at the beginning. It's going to be very interesting to see the impact this has on the economy. So $200 to $550 for common up to legendary is the estimated cost. We'll see. If we go over, if you're needing to buy cards to burn for Cinder, the best way to do it is to come over to Peak Monsters. See if I can find the right tab. Apparently I've closed out of it. Let's go to buy cards. And then up here, we're going to go to compare. And then for compare, best CP to cost ratio. This is how much CP you can get for $1. So right now, again, we said like the chaos reward cards. I mean, if we scroll down there's some older cards. There's some Captain's Ghost, some Undead that are actually fairly efficient because a lot of people have bought up. They've raised the prices that much. Right now, as I'm making this video, $1 will get you 950 CP. Look how much we have to burn here. If we come back over here, so a maxed out copy of a common is going to, so we're gonna need 150,000 Cinder. 1.5 Cinder per CP. We need about 100,000 CP. Gonna need to burn over $100 worth of cards to max this out. What's that going to do to this price as people go buy these up? How much is the floor going to raise? It's going to be interesting. It's raised a lot already. I'm curious to see if people are if they prepared ahead of time and they have this ready. A lot of times we find out that's not the case. So we're going to burn a lot of cards. We're going to burn a lot of, like, this tells you the total resources. If we sell out of everything, because you need grain, wood, you need these other things to craft these cards, depending on which card it is. We're going to burn a lot of resources. Grain's in the billions. All that wood, all that stone. What type of impact is this going to have on the economy? I'm curious to see, because we all get this and say, this is awesome. We're going to burn all these resources. That's great. Values are going to go up. But remember that we are now making land more efficient. People are going to be producing more of these resources now. So you burn them initially, but then over time, we're going to be producing more of them. Kind of like when we had the validator sale for SPS, right? Everybody's excited. Look at all the SPS we're burning. We're sending to the DAO. And then we didn't kind of do anything with them. And they just steadily produced more and more SPS. And SPS inflation ended up rising in the long term. That sale wasn't actually good because we didn't really go anywhere with it. Not saying this is bad, but the problem with the validators we did for a long time didn't go anywhere with it. This is setting up to be like, this looks fun for land. If you're into land, these types of things are fun. It's exciting. Burning all this is exciting. So it's exciting now. I guess my point is we've got to go someplace with it now. We need to, land is starting to shape. We're starting to add more and more pieces into land. Remember, the end goal of land is for it to be producing cards for the main game, the spells and the item cards. Like, that was the entire purpose of it. How long is it going to take us to get there? I don't know the answer to that. But it's fun to see it all shaping up. And you can kind of see, like, as more and more pieces are put into the land puzzle, you can see where it's going. You can see how it can be good for the economy. And I think people are going to like this. We'll see. And like I said, if you're not into land, this is exciting because do you necessarily care if grain values, if wood values decline? What you might care about is Cinder, burning extra cards. That's going to be good. So I'm excited about burning those cards. Remember, we've got survival mode that's coming back. A lot of these cards that we're going to be to burn have been used in survival mode to help kind of farm rewards there. Will this change survival mode as we start to burn more of these cheap cards? Oh, we'll see. We'll see. It starts today. Let me know down below. Are you going to craft any of these? Are you going to see if you can pick them up on the market? Are you just going to come up here and buy up all the cheapest CP cards, hoping that people will then need them from land and you can sell them those? That definitely would have been a good strategy 2 weeks ago. Is it still a good strategy? We'll find out. All right, again, make sure you guys check me out on streams. We're going to be streaming a lot here coming up over the next few months. Kind of picking things back up. I spent a lot of time setting up that Grand Prix. That's over with. I can now focus more on my own channel. We're going to get back to you. I'll see you guys there. Come win some cards.